This is a little record of the events of the 22nd of March when I had a grass fire here. The extent of the fire goes over in that direction, about 1,000 feet, and it also goes over a little ways into the bush, but mostly the bush was hardly affected. That's probably because the leaves are a bit dry, but mostly it's humid humus up and under the trees, so hardly anything was affected there. You can see how the fire went up close to the house, but this was when I was working on it by myself, and I managed to beat the flames down. What a hero, eh? Well, no. The hero in this case was boiling maple sap on an area fairly close to some dry grass, and most of the time everything was fine. For the last few days I'd been boiling the sap and there's been no problem. And then all of a sudden yesterday it was quite different. The fire jumped on me and got away. Anyway, there was water available over on the side of the house, which was working. Unfortunately, there's the tap on the side of the house, you can see. Unfortunately, the hose was buried under some ice and was not available to me, so I managed to get pails of water, but that's a bit slower than actually using a hose. You can see that the fire went off into the bush here a bit, but it didn't seem to have any enthusiasm in here, so the only place that it really got going was in the area over here where I had done some pruning and removed a lot of dead wood. That's where fire can get started up in the trees, but it didn't here because there was not a lot of really heavy wood. I'd removed all of that to burn in my fireplace. Anyway, I don't feel too proud about this event actually. Anyway, we'll see. If I take you over here, there was also a little scare on this side of the house. It ran all the way over here. And actually started at one point to threaten my woodshed. As you can see, the woodshed is full of quite nicely dry wood here, and it would have been a real hard time if it had managed to get into there, but it didn't get as far as you might have imagined. The savior of the day here was this pond here. Now this pond was dug by the people, some people that were living here before me. You can see a couple of places where the firefighters cut the ice away, dug the ice away, put in a submersible pump and ran the submersible pump, and that provided most of the water for dealing with the grass, which then caught fire. But over on the what would that be? The west side, there's a lot of stuff that could have burned, but didn't, because the wind was blowing from the west towards the east. Anyway, let me show you what happened over here. Most of the grass was fairly short, because I mow it for composting purposes, but there was some long grass on this slope right here, and that was really hard to deal with. That was at the point that I decided that I couldn't do it by myself and I had to get some help in. Phoned the local fire brigade and they came out and helped, and they were great. The fire ran underneath the fence here. and then over into the garden. Mostly ran down the left-hand side here at the base of those spruce trees, because that's where there was some long grass. Where the grass was really short, it was fairly easy to control. But when it got into the long stuff, I was sunk. Now, the fire, at this time, I was, while the fire was over here, I was up at the road waiting for the fire trucks to arrive. And this is what happened to a few of my spruce trees. Something happened under there to burn the needles off of the trees right to the top. Excuse me. I breathed in quite a lot of smoke yesterday. Now, the fire continues over there, continues and continues and continues, and ran all the way up to. This is while the fire guys were dealing with the fire over here. I didn't have anything to do with it here. But you can see that the fire ran along the high ground almost to the trees at the far end of my property. Well, that is about it. That's an extensive fire, as you can imagine. You think I could have handled that by myself? No sirree. Well, thank you very much to the Frontenac Fire Department. It saved my bacon. And at this point I will cut it off. Thank you for watching.